We have the same omnidirectional wheel. Our charging contacts are placed in the same spot. We have our cliff sensors placed in the same areas as well. We have the same side brush placement. So very similar in that regards, but hey everyone, Digital David here. Today in this video, I'm going to be comparing the iRobot Roomba 692 with the i4 and the i6. I did purchase all of these products myself, and any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in anything that you see here, the links to them will be in my video description below. Be sure to check out other review videos I have on my channel covering these vacuums. Now let's go ahead, let's look at the individual contents for each vacuum. Here are all the package contents. To my left, you can see we have everything for the i4 Plus right here. Straight ahead, we have everything for the 692. And to my right, you can see we have all the contents for the i6 Plus. So starting out, let's look at everything for the i4 Plus. We have our power cable. We have our owner's guide for i3 and i4 models. We have our owner's guide for the self-emptying base. And we have our warranty information. You can also see the self-emptying base right here. It is identical to the i6 Plus self-emptying base. Then in the center, you can see we have everything for the 692. We have our power cable. We have our charging base right here. This is not a self-emptying base, but you can see what this base looks like from all different sides and angles. And then we have our user documentation as well, our owner's guide, a quick start guide, and our warranty information for the 692. And last but not least, we have the i6 Plus right here. So we have our power cable. We have our owner's guide for the i6, our owner's guide for the self-emptying base, and our warranty information. You can see the self-emptying base as well. It's identical to the i4 Plus self-emptying base. Charging contacts, our dustbin contents extraction point right here. When it drives up on it, it's going to suck all that into the base. They open up to reveal a nice bag that we can empty as needed depending on our use. Very simple, straightforward, easy to use and set up. Now let's go ahead, let's look at the vacuum cleaners up close. So looking at the vacuums from the top, you can see they all follow the same general design principles. They're circular, they have a bumper, navigation modules, buttons are at the top to control, but other than that, they're pretty different from each other. So to my left, we have the i4, to the center, we have the 692, and to my right, we have the i6. In regards to logo placement, you can see completely different on each RoboVac. And our buttons are actually all the same. They all do the same features and functionality. So go home and charge, power on and clean, in spot cleaning mode. You can see that for each of the vacuums, but their placements are completely different. Well, at least for the 692, it's front and center. For the i4 and the i6, they're actually in the exact same spot, but they designed the buttons differently. So they look different even though they're basically in the exact same spot, but due to clever design elements and tweaks, they changed the physical buttons, but they're still very similar to each other. You can also see on the i4, we actually have this fabric texture along the top that we don't have on the other two RoboVacs, but you can see the designs are completely different in that regard. And you may have noticed on the i6, we actually pick up a camera module for improved navigation that we don't get on the 692 or the i4. Also, the 692 has your button to release the dustbin right at the top of the vacuum, where it's along the sides in the exact same spot for both the i4 and the i6. Now let's go ahead, let's flip them over. On the back side, I'd say we have more similarities than differences, especially between the i6 and the i4. But for all the vacuums, you can see we have the same spring-loaded drive wheels right here. We have the same omnidirectional wheel. Our charging contacts are placed in the same spot. We have our cliff sensors placed in the same areas as well. We have the same side brush placement. So very similar in that regards, but pay attention to the i6. We actually pick up some extra sensors on the backside that we don't get with the i4 or the 692. Also, the i6 and the i4 have the same Aero Force cleaning system that is not found on the 692. They both have the same dustbin, where we don't have the same dustbin for the 692. Now what's interesting is the 692 and the i6 have the same label and sticker placement that is not found on the i4. So take a look at that. We have our little clip here to reveal both of our brushes. Also, you may have noticed the two rollers on the i4 are similar yet different than the i6. So keep that in mind. We do have different options there. And then a completely different system for the 692, but we still have the same tabs. So you can easily open everything as needed to clean and untangle your brushes as you see fit. So the 692, the i4, and the i6 all use the same iRobot app, but within the app we have different features and skill sets depending on the make and model that we get. So first we're going to start with the 692. You can see the app right here. We have the new job button. We have our battery status indicator. We have our favorite section. We have our scheduling. We can schedule this vacuum cleaner. We have our cleaning history that you can see right here. So let's go ahead. Let's check that out. You can see the status there of a previous clean. And then we have our messages from iRobot and our vacuum cleaner. Anything important will come up there, like tips and tricks. Next, you can see we have our settings right here. So basically, we can just view our Wi-Fi settings. We can change our language, things like that for the 692. Now we're going to jump up to the i4. You can see very similar experience. We have a nice image of our vacuum cleaner, the same new job button, battery status, all of that's the same layout. We have our favorite section. We have our scheduling option as well, again, just like the 692. You can see our history right here. This is where you'll start to see some differences. So first up, we have a breakdown of our cleaning, but you may notice we actually have a map of it. So it does give us a cleaning map of the area that it was able to clean and a nice breakdown there. So we get map making abilities. We just can't edit the map. You'll see that in a second with the i6. Same messages option. Then we can select robot settings, and you can see we pick up a clean base section, and we can adjust our cleaning preferences. So we can adjust our cleaning passes and our bin full behavior right from within the app. And then everything else is the same as the 692, but just for the i4. And then last but not least, let's go to the i6, and you can see same layout, new job. We have our battery status indicator. You may notice right here, we got a little map icon. We're going to come back to that. You can see favorite section again, our scheduling, our history. Just like the i4, we can view that and we can see our detailed map of the clean and all the additional cleaning details. So check that out. And then further down, we have our robot settings. So same thing, we pick up the clean base section again with our cleaning preferences. So you can see the different options right there, just like the i4, and all the other same settings that we get between all three models. But now let's go ahead, let's look at the map option here. And you can see we can add another map if we're going to be using this on different floors of our house. We can view our main map right here and check that out. I've already have it set up so we can categorize it by room. We can set up no-go zones, no clean areas. So we have our room dividers. We can label the rooms. And then we have our zones right here. So we can add a keep out zone or we can add a clean zone. So say there's a rug you don't want cleaned, a specific area within a room like the family room that you don't want cleaned. Maybe your Roomba gets stuck there often. There's some cords or cables or shoes or something you'll never clean up or tidy up, or you can't for whatever reason. You can block that off right here within the app. So not only do we get map making like the i4, but we actually are able to edit the map, and that's what it's going to go off of to clean for us. So as we go up in model from the 692 to the i4 to the i6, we start to see some subtle but significant differences within the iRobot app for our mobile devices, giving us more features. So far, we've looked at all three vacuum cleaners and how they're similar and different in regard to build quality and software. Now let's go ahead, let's talk about the internals and the performance of each vacuum. First up, all three vacuums feature a 3-stage cleaning system, but we get a premium cleaning system with the i4 and the i6. Next up, in regards to suction power, we have standard suction power for the 692. We pick up 10 times suction power for the i4 and the i6. Now let's talk about the cleaning pattern for all the vacuum cleaners. So the 692 gives us an adaptive cleaning pattern, kind of a bump and react clean, where the i4 and the i6 give us a neat row navigation option. So that option enables the vacuum cleaner to methodically clean your house to make sure everything's covered. Basically, the neat row navigation is going to give us a more consistent and constant clean that we don't get with the 692. Next up, let's talk about runtime for the vacuum cleaners. 90 minutes for the 692. We have a recharge and resume capability for both the i4 and the i6, so you no longer really have to worry about battery life. Next up, let's talk about their ability to navigate obstacles and stairs. They all feature great sensors, allowing them not to fall down the stairs and to bump into obstacles and to be able to navigate freely. but we pick up some smarter navigation options with the i4 and the i6 that we don't get with the 692. So the i4 gives us the ability to make a map, but that map is only presented to us after we clean, so we can see what was cleaned. The i6, on the other hand, has smart mapping, so not only do we generate a map after we clean, we also have a map of our floor, and we can have multiple maps saved if we have like a basement, a first floor, and a second floor. And with that mapping ability gives us the option to clean by specific rooms or objects, and to set clean zones and keep out zones. That's only available with the mapping on the i6. So keep that in mind. That's one of the key differences between all three of these vacuum cleaners, and the one I would argue makes the most sense. If you're paying to upgrade, that's going to be the feature you're really going to appreciate the most. Next up, they all work with Wi-Fi. They connect to your smart home, but after that feature, we really start to see the 692 drop off, and then everything else that we're going to talk about is for the i4 and the i6. Both of these feature tangle-resistant brushes, high-efficiency filters. That's thanks to the nice premium 3-stage cleaning system. Both the i4 and the i6 work with the self-emptying base, and you can pair both of these with the BravaJet M6 robot mop if you want. So that's what we get with the i4, the i6, and the 692. That's a quick look at their internals and the performance you can expect depending on which vacuum you land on. So the choice is pretty clear if you ask me. After using all three of these vacuum cleaners, the i6 is the clear winner, and if you can afford to get this vacuum cleaner, spend a couple more bucks between these two, you'll be very happy that you made that choice long term. Picking up the ability to have the visual navigation and the smart mapping is top notch. Pairing that with the self-emptying base, and you have a fantastic cleaning experience. Well, that concludes our video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget the product link will be in our video description below. Please go ahead, check it out, and do your shopping from there. Any purchase made through that link helps support our channel at no additional cost to you. So we're really grateful and thankful for all of your support. While you're at it, can you go ahead and hit that like button for us? And subscribe to our channel. We have new content coming out daily, and we don't want you to miss anything. Please go ahead and give us a follow online and make it a clean sweep. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, Discord. You can message us on WeChat, check out our website, and join our free newsletter. Thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget, new content daily, and we can't wait to see you in our next video.